Hello and good morning, everyone. OnlyPositivity here. I have my coffee with me, ready to explore this new phase of life with you all. So over the past few years, I have gained a whole new perspective on life, and I've realized that life is too short to not be enjoying yourself while doing great things. So come along with me as I explore this new lens through fitness, photography, reading, traveling, cannabis, and much more. Looking forward to the journey, guys. And remember, only positivity. Hello and good morning, everyone. Only positivity here. I got my coffee with me, ready to kick off podcast number 102 on this playlist that I'm looking to launch called Elevated Thoughts. So before diving into the book and everything like that for today, let me go ahead and call out my dumbass because we are here for podcast number 103 today. So before diving into that, let's go and start with the level set. So, as I endeavor upon pursuing knowledge and life experience in this next phase of life through fitness, photography, reading, many more things, one habit that I've really formed is traveling. So this podcast essentially goes through some of my more recent travels, taking those lessons learned and applying them to my life. So, before we go into the travel review for today, I just want to say, thanks to everybody, bro. Thanks to everybody who's been supporting me. Thanks for everyone who maybe even hasn't, man. Just gratitude all around. I feel like I've been getting a lot of love from people. People have been hitting me up for photos, to chat. I've just been getting a lot of good energy from people. I recently went to go get some dinner with my boy Jacob Samuel, who was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and we're good friends now. It's really nice to see those type of things happening. Connecting on good platforms, good vibes, and just the friendships that come from it. My boy just got a new dog, so I think it's Kaya. So hopefully that's going well, man. Let me know. I'm happy to come see her sometime soon. But just all around thanks to everyone who's been supporting me. I see everybody, and I'm just really appreciative of the circle I got around me. Not trying to let my ego get the best of me, and just be a good boy, if you will. What do you call it? So I just got back from a trip to New Mexico with a couple of my buddies, and it was amazing. We definitely didn't expect it to be the way it was out there. It was snowing and stuff. I'll go into that a little bit later on a different podcast, but got out there with two of my best friends, and just I can't be grateful enough. It's so hard to get out there and do things like that with your boys, and all be on good vibes, and just be living a good life, and while at the same time working hard, and just going through the hustle and stuff like that. So I was just really fulfilled this weekend, because in life there's a lot of things that get on top of us, right? We have a lot of strategies, and we have a lot we want to accomplish, but when I come back to a weekend like I just had, and I'm just with a couple of my best friends, and we're just sitting there on good vibes, and I feel loved. I feel like people have my back, and I can just relax. I realize that's the goal, right? Like I've achieved what I've set out to do by just having a couple of good people around me. And so again, I don't want to harp on anything here, but I appreciate my brothers out there. Let's fucking go. So anywho, for this podcast, I actually decided to just sit down today. I didn't prep anything. I was just like, let me just hop on, and just knock this one out, because I feel like sometimes the prep work gets me down. I'm just like, oh man, this is like another job. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna have fun with it. So in any case, today's travel review is gonna be Washington, D.C. So for those of you that haven't been out there, highly recommend it. In the summertime, Washington, D.C. is fucking amazing. It's gorgeous, beautiful. They have so much to offer. It's very diverse. In every facet, right? The people, the architecture, the activities you can do, just really, really cool all around. So without further ado, I'm just gonna dive right into that bitch. So let's fucking go. I'm gonna figure these out one of these days. Anywho, so what initially was supposed to happen, I was supposed to go to Philly to go see some relatives of mine, and whatever, as things happen, right? I got some drama that came up, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna reroute that whole situation, and still fly into Philly, but maybe just drive out to DC, and that was like the best decision ever, right? So what do you call? We ended up flying into DC, right? Taking Southwest. And I've been flying Southwest a little bit more frequently recently because, it's just been a good user experience. I know not everyone's having that, but I don't really mind Southwest and with the check bags and just the, Midway is not too far away from us. So just a little tidbit on traveling, right? So we live equidistant from O'Hare and Midway out here in Chicago. So our Ubers tend to get us. It's like the Uber there is probably $30-$40. On the way back on a Sunday night, it can be like over $100. So I've paid that before. But at Midway, you can park in the garage, and you can drive there and have that comfort. And then there's a shuttle that takes you right to the airport, which is like a 1-minute shuttle. So, no qualms there at all. And then you save, it's $15 a day. Let's say I do a 3-day trip, $45, maybe $60 if they count that 4th day. Way better than paying an Uber, right? And you get the comfort of just being in your own car, right? Not having to make that stupid small talk with the Uber drivers. I do that, honestly. Sometimes the Uber drivers will have to tell me to shut up. But we out here. I overcompensate in that way, man, like all the fucking time. But what do you call it? So I get my edibles going. You know how I do things. We get to the airport, and we park up there, and we just hop on the plane, pop the edibles, fucking zonk out, wake up in Philly 2 hours later, which I always love to do. It's so much fun to do that, and just kind of get away from the mundane, just sitting there on a plane, right? So that's why I do that. But then, so we land there, and it's nighttime now, right? It's like 7 p.m. And we get our rental car, and what was dope was we rented like a compact, and they didn't have any at the time, so they upgraded us to like a full-size car. It's the little things, right? So we're good to go there. And then we actually drive over, and we're hungry, man. So we stop at a Bahama Breeze, which I've never been to, and it's like nothing special, but it definitely sufficed. So we stopped actually by my relative's house that we were supposed to go to, and ate some food there, which was a little bit interesting. Then we hop back on the road, 2.5-hour drive out to DC, and it was a fun drive, man. It was nighttime. But we put on some Crime Junkie, and we were just chatting up about those crime junkies, and my girl and I, we always like have good chats in the car, man. So we were just like really chopping it up, really like getting deep into it, and just like reflecting and just talking about a lot of that Crime Junkie shit. And some of those crime junkies are fucking scary. So we definitely got into some windy conversations there. So by the time we get to DC, it's like midnight-ish, right? It's a little bit later, and we stayed in Georgetown, which is a dope ass area to stay. We stayed at the Georgetown Marriott, which was really, really fucking nice. So I highly recommend it. We use our Bonvoy points to do all that. So no harm done, man. It was really nice. Modern hotel. They had just renovated it. They got a gym. They got a nice little cafe, a nice bar, and the staff overall was really nice. So take a look at my travel guide. You can see like kind of everything we did. So we ended up going there, right? Late night, showered up, just fucking passed out. And then the next morning we get up, and we're like, let's go explore today. Essentially, my wife had fallen, down this, like not down the stairs. She had fallen a week or two prior when I was in Idaho. My little nephew must have juked her out, fucking broke the ankles on her. And she fell. So we weren't as mobile as we could have been. And I told her, I was looking up wheelchair rentals, and she was like, I am not doing that. And I was like, well, I'm trying to hook you up, dude. So she ended up being a trooper, ankle braced up, took some ibuprofen. So the first day we get up, and there's a, there's a breakfast spot right across the street. You can eat at the hotel, but we were like, let's get out. So then we go to another hotel restaurant across the street called Chef Geoff's. It's like Geoffs. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it's Chef Jeff. Who knows? So we got some, your typical stuff, right? Eggs, potatoes, toast, some meat, and some coffee, right? A great way to start the day. I always like to start my day with like a brunch meal like that. Gets you going. And then it was interesting too, because we were sitting next to a couple of people whose daughter was going to college there, and they were just dropping them off. And it's like you're people watching, right? It was just so interesting to hear their conversation. The parents were super happy. You could tell they were a little bit sad because they had to go back home alone now. But they were just really, really happy for their daughter. And I thought that was really interesting, because when I went to college, it wasn't like that. It was like very like, I don't know, it was very melancholic, and my parents weren't super supportive of it. But yeah, whatever. It's just nice to see like that happen. And it's very wholesome. It's a wholesome interaction, and it's been like over 10, 15 years since I've been to college. So just reflecting on those times in my life is very, very interesting. Always euphoric. Always nostalgic. So we end up doing that, and we're planning to go to the Holocaust Museum later, but we have a lot of time still, right? Because we got up early, got our workouts in, got some food, and now we're ready to go. So we ended up like just walking to this dispensary called Dreams Dispensary, which is about a 5-minute walk away from our hotel. Another great tidbit about the location of the Georgetown Marriott. So we end up walking to this dispensary, and all the while, dude, I have my camera on me, so I'm taking pictures of the architecture. And DC is a very, very interesting place in terms of its architecture. There's some parts that are very they're older, but still very nicely maintained, and then some more modern spots. So a lot of different neighborhoods and whatnot. So we start walking to this dispensary, and we get in there, and I pick up some pre-rolls, pick up some edibles, and then I'm looking on the menu, and I see like they have psilocybin, like chocolate bars there, and I go, "Yo, dude, is this like shroom shit?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, you want some?" And I'm like, "Damn, man," because you can't be like impromptu doing shrooms unless you're really about that life. But I was about to go to the Holocaust Museum, so I'm like definitely not trying to trip out over there and be all weird in that that dark time period of the Holocaust. So I was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna pass. But this is really good information for me, and I've been sharing that with everybody. As you can see, I'm like, dude, if you go to fucking Washington D.C., dude, they got shrooms out there, and it's fucking at the dispensary, which is awesome, And for those of you that have never done psychedelics or anything like that before, I'm not gonna tell you to do it, or I'm not even going to recommend it to you, but I fuck with them, and they work wonders for me. So I'm for me, I'm like all about that shit, so if anyone wants to know more about that, or my take on them, just fucking hit me up, bro. I'm happy to chat about it. So then we end up doing that, and then we walk around a little bit. We're just like, let's just go walk around, let's go explore DC, for as much as my wife can with her foot and everything like that. So we're just walking, if you ever listen to my podcast or me, dude, I'm a big walker, so I'm all about it. Smoke a joint, go for a walk, got some great pictures in. The weather was beautiful. It was hot, but I'll take that any day. And then, so we're walking around just like reminiscing, man. I'm just like I'm in heaven, man. I'm just like with my wife, bro. Beautiful day out in a new location, bougie shit. It was awesome. And then we make our way over to this coffee shop, and we just sit down and get some portraits of my wife sitting down drinking coffee. And then we head over to the Holocaust Museum, because you got to make a reservation, So if you're going there, you got to plan out your trip a little bit. And then it was my first time going to like that National Museum campus, right? And it's such a unique area, so much history there. And I'll go into that in a little bit, but it's a really, really unique area, right? With the Holocaust Museum, the Botanic Garden, the Capitol Building, all the memorials, the Washington Monument. Just like a lot, dude, a lot out there. And it's all history based, so like super cool. So we go to the Holocaust Museum, and I know the Holocaust is a dark topic to talk about, but it is so important that we talk about it. I forget what they say there. It's like the Holocaust is not the answer; it's a question. And that kind of resonates with me, because we as a human race should never allow something like World War I, II, and the Holocaust to happen like ever again. Like it's just an all-time low for humanity, and you can see like the trajectory of events laid out very clearly, and you almost feel like you're there when you go through that museum. Obviously, I wasn't there, so I can't say it's like I was there, but they kind of put you in like the vibe, right? And it's a little bit interesting, they tell, there's also so much history. I mean, I'm really into that stuff. And I don't know if anyone has seen the movie Anthropoid with Cillian Murphy, but they talk to that mission, Anthropoid. Like there was a bunch of Czechoslovakian folks that escaped Nazi territory, but they came back in to help. And there's a movie on Amazon, totally watch it. But the more you know, the more educated you are about the future, right? You can understand like what types of things cause this. Was it the inability for folks to communicate properly? Was it, resentment for a harsh punishment that was given and like they rebelled from that, right? There's things like that and how you should, really deal with people, right? So just things of that sort, right? Like I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but you can't go to DC and not visit that museum because they've done such a great job of preserving that history so that we never forget it, and we shouldn't, right? We should never forget that, and we should go forward with like the thought of compromise and humanity and solution oriented shit going forward, as opposed to like focusing on differences. And it's just really sad for the Jewish population. I feel like they're just always getting fucked with, like no one can leave the Jews alone for like all of history. And I don't know why that is. I got some thoughts, but that's like maybe for a later conversation. So we stay over there for a couple of hours, right? I'm really, really geeking out over all the Holocaust like memorabilia, if you will, or just the museum in general. It's like it's very well done. Scares me. So we get out of there, and now we're like, hey man, what do we do now, right? Do we what's the next move, right? So we go back to the hotel and like rock a little bit of a nap. We're just like totally just like a little bit heated out from the day. It's really warm, so we're like, let's just go back. So we stop at this spot called Foggy Bottom on the way home, and we get just some coffee. It's a vibey ass coffee spot. My dumbass got like a nitro cold brew that tasted like beer, and I can't stand beer. So that was a bust on me. I tried to put some cream and shit in there to make it better. No bueno, dude. Not at all. So in any case, we're going back to the hotel, and this one homeless dude in a wheelchair like asked my wife or me and my wife for some money. I'm like, nah, I don't got any money. I'm sorry. And then he wasn't shitty about it all. He was like, damn, you over there with Mary J. Blige, huh? And I'm like, dude, I don't know if that's like a compliment or a diss to my wife, right? Like I'm just like, for sure, like yeah, definitely, man, Mary J. Blige, 100%. I was like, did you take that as a compliment? I'm not saying Mary J. Blige isn't pretty or nothing like that, but my wife is like, in her 20s still, and Mary J. Blige is like probably in her 50s, so I'm just wondering what that is. But I think it was a compliment. It seemed like it came off well. But whatever. He also told me I look like Whoopi Goldberg. I'm just kidding. But so we go back and we rock a nap, right? We rock a little nap, and then we get up at night. And then we're like, let's just go for another stroll. Let's get out and, just see what's up. And then we go to another neighborhood. I forget the name of the neighborhood. But there was this restaurant called Macan. Yeah. And so we went there at night for dinner, and it was awesome. It's like a really well-known spot in DC, and it had some like, national ratings, and the food was great there. We got some like some Thai food, and it was absolutely delicious. So highly recommend it. If you go to the basement of it, it's called Thirsty Crow, but it's the same food. The top is just a little bit more bougie, And we had made a reservation, but it was like at the bar, and I was like, well, if we can get a table, that'd be cool. So they just sent us downstairs, but they got some good like spicy quality food. And that's one thing I'll say about DC is like they got some quality food out there, and that's like one of their staples. That's like one reason to even visit DC. It's just for the different food scene out there. Really, really good. Yeah, so we did that. Then we kind of wrapped up the night. It was like later on. It was like 9 by the time we were done, and we had gotten up early, right, and just kind of attacked the day, walked around a bunch. So like, let's just go to bed, right? So the next day we got another busy agenda. So this time, we get up and we go to this low key spot. I forget what it was called, but it was just a quick spot. It was like a quick breakfast wrap and a coffee, and we were just kind of on the go with it. I believe it was called. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was a quick little spot, and it was right by the George Washington Hospital. It was a good area to be at. And then after that, we went back to the national like campus or whatever you call it, right? And so we just walked around there. I was like, let's just go over there and walk around. So we saw the White House. Super awesome, right? Like it's just crazy, like where it's located, like swarming with security, and there's a lot of people there too, man. And so we saw a bunch of the statues around it, George Washington, and things of that sort. And then we went over to the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. Now, a lot of people go to the Lincoln Memorial, and I definitely want to go there. But my brother-in-law was saying that the Jefferson Memorial is like very, very grand and it's unique, and it truly is. It's like it's its own like legitimate pantheon, like there's this building, and you go in there, and Thomas Jefferson is just tall, and he's looking right at you through the entrance of the bridge. And there's a lot of like all men are created equal type vibes. And I believe Thomas Jefferson had slaves, so I don't know too much about this guy, but it makes you happy to see that, hey, look, our nation was founded upon principles like this, that all men were created equal. And then it makes you proud to be an American, right? I know we have our differences and shit like that, but it just makes you like, hey, look, we were founded on the principles that we're all created equal and everyone has the same opportunity here. So that really, really is rewarding, beneficial, fulfilling for me to see. And we just sat there. My wife got like some ice cream. We just sat there and ate. I got some pictures of the monument. And the unfortunate part was like we were walking and my wife actually fell. Like she got her foot caught in like a little pothole. So we had to kind of like stop our walking for the day. And, I felt really bad for her, but, she was a trooper. She definitely made the most of that trip. And then, once we were done with that area, we hit up this spot called Soy 38. Again, amazing Thai food. Like, my wife kind of got me into it, and Thai food is just so great because it's like meat and rice. Sometimes it could be oily, but it's usually meat, rice, and veggies, which is what, a growing boy like myself needs, right? So we just, chilled out there, got out of the heat, cooled off for a little bit, and we just kind of hung around there. And then we went to the Botanic Garden, which is really cool. It's a little underwhelming, I'll say. It's not like the coolest thing in the world, but, I like flowers. I totally got in there, got some good pictures, got some good clips, and, just good memories, man. Like it's really cool that they have that out there. It's like this little oasis in like this landscape of buildings, right? So a little bit of a change up, which I think is really cool. But what else? Yeah, so after that, we spent a few hours again, like out walking around, getting our steps in, and then we kind of work up an appetite again, and we go to this spot called Mai 64. We go to the spot to get wine first, actually, called District Winery, and that was a recommendation by one of our friends, and it's in a really cool area right on the river. We got a couple wine flights, and they got like all these like caricatures of the presidents in the back, which is super vibey, right? It was beautiful weather, so it's all windowed out. Highly recommend you go there. They got good wine. And then after that, we went to dinner. So we went to dinner at this place called Mai 64, and honestly, it looks like a really vibey place, modern spot. The only issue we had was that our waitress kind of just like totally forgot about us the entire time. Like she brought out my entree, didn't bring my wife's entree out. Never came to ask for drinks. We did ask for coffee, and she didn't bring it back till like way after we had already paid the bill. So the service kind of ruined the experience for us. But the food is really modern. Like it's like a very vibey spot. I'd highly recommend going there, and just like being aware of that fact. They were really busy that night, so I totally get it. So that kind of wrapped up our trip. Honestly, like good vibes, learning, history, fun stuff, just all around. We had a blast with it, and I would definitely want to go there again and just walk it, like just completely walk the entire city if I can. And I want to go out there for the cherry blossoms and shit like that. But I would highly recommend anyone get out to DC if you're like a young adult or any age really. It's a great spot for young adults. It just seems like a forward-thinking, great spot, a place to settle down. A place for anybody really. So, yeah, that's about it. I hear it doesn't get too cold there either, honestly. So, yeah, I mean, that's a quick rundown of our trip to Washington, D.C. If anyone has any questions, let me know. I got my travel guide posted up there. But I just highly recommend you get out. Now, if you have any feedback, feel free to, just let me know, reach out. I'm happy to podcast with anybody. And I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. And remember, only positivity. Thanks, guys.